All right, so you sent over some articles about Neil Gaiman
Yeah.
and some serious allegations against him, and
Heavy stuff.
yeah, it is.
It is.
It seems like a lot to process. So, especially for fans of his work, we wanted to kind of like break it down. What do we know? What does it all mean?
It's really complicated, these kinds of situations, and there's a lot of strong emotions
Yeah.
on all sides. So we're going to try to just like give you the facts, an unbiased overview.
Yeah, we'll be your like objective guides through
Yeah,
this.
do this whole thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with who is making these accusations
Okay.
and what are they saying?
Sounds good.
Okay, so Neil Gaiman, for anyone who somehow doesn't know, he's like
He's kind of a big deal.
a huge deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's written The Sandman, Good Omens, The Graveyard Book.
So influential.
Yeah, like all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of people know his work. That's
Yeah.
part of why this is such a big deal, because like
Right.
he's a household name.
Yeah, it's not like some obscure author.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So diving into like what these women are alleging.
Okay.
Let's start with Scarlett Pavlovich.
Okay.
She was a nanny, and her story is the most recent one,
Okay.
alleging assault, that Gaiman assaulted her in New Zealand in February of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
That recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she doesn't hold back in her account at all.
No.
She
What did
describes
she say?
feeling like really trapped and powerless,
Oh, wow.
and says that Gaiman ignored her pleas to stop, even when she was clearly in pain.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Kay,
Okay.
whose story dates back to 2003.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Yeah, she met Gaiman at a book signing
Oh, wow.
when she was just 18,
Okay.
and alleges that they had a relationship that involved rough and painful sex that she didn't consent to.
Okay.
In one specific incident.
Is there anything like particular?
Yeah, she describes an incident where she says that Gaiman disregarded her objections to sexual activity because she had a UTI.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, it's...
If that's true, it really makes you question
Yeah.
his understanding of consent and just like
Yeah.
completely disregards her well-being.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Whatever.
there's Caroline Wallner.
Okay.
She alleges that Gaiman used his influence
Okay.
to pressure her into a sexual relationship,
Okay.
promising her housing in exchange.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's mention of a non-disclosure agreement.
So like she can't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. She can't speak out about it. And a $275,000 payment.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this brings up a lot of issues about
Yeah.
power dynamics.
Yeah.
Like if she felt coerced
Right.
and she was relying on him for housing, that's
Right.
not good at all.
So we have these three women, three very different stories,
Right.
three different time periods, spanning over 2 decades.
Yeah, that's a long.
Yeah. What's been his response?
So,
not-
to all these allegations,
Yeah.
he denies all allegations of non-consensual sex.
Okay.
He insists that his interactions with Pavlovich, the most recent one, were completely consensual and limited to cuddling and making out.
Okay. But I notice he doesn't address
Yeah, he doesn't really
like the specifics that she brings up.
like the pain
Right.
and her asking him to stop.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just kind of like, oh, we were just cuddling.
Right. Right.
He's also suggested that some of his accusers may be having false memories,
Yeah.
but there's no evidence provided for this.
What is he trying to do there? Like, what's his strategy? Is he trying to discredit these women without directly calling them liars?
It's hard to say,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a tactic we've seen in a lot of high-profile cases, and it can be really damaging to
Yeah.
the accuser's credibility.
Yeah.
So,
So this is definitely affecting Gaiman's career.
yeah,
Multiple projects have been paused or outright canceled.
it's got to be rough for everyone involved, the cast, the crew,
Right.
the people who have been working on these projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So season 3 of Good Omens has been put on hold,
Okay.
and Gaiman actually offered to step back from that project.
Really?
Yeah, and Disney's halted development on the Graveyard Book film,
Wow.
and Netflix canceled Dead Boy Detectives after just 1 season.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is having real, like, financial repercussions and creative repercussions. Like,
Right.
these were projects that were going forward, they were happening, and now
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah. And what about the fans? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's another
they're
thing.
stuck. They don't know what to think.
Right.
Can I still enjoy the Sandman if he
Right.
did these things?
Yeah.
It's a question a lot of people are grappling with, and there's no easy answer.
No.
Some people might choose to completely boycott his work.
Yeah.
Others might say, well, I can still appreciate the art.
while acknowledging the seriousness of these allegations,
Right.
it's really up to each individual person
Yeah.
how they feel about it.
Legally speaking, where does the investigation stand right now?
Okay, so Pavlovich actually filed a complaint with the New Zealand police in October of 2022.
Okay.
And then Gaiman put out a statement that the police didn't take him up on his offer to assist.
Oh, that's an interesting detail.
Yeah, he was basically saying like,
Yeah.
they're not even pursuing this. It must not be serious.
Right. He's like trying to control the narrative a little bit, it seems like.
Yeah, it definitely could be perceived that way.
Yeah.
However, the New Zealand police have said that the investigation is ongoing.
Oh, okay.
They're just facing logistical issues, interviewing people in different countries.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so big picture, we have these serious claims against Gaiman.
Right.
He's maintaining his innocence.
Right.
Where does that leave us? Where does that leave, like, fans?
It's tricky, for sure. We need to remember, these are allegations.
Of course.
He is innocent until proven guilty,
Absolutely.
but these stories bring up some really important points
Yeah.
about consent, power dynamics,
Right.
and the long-term impact of these kinds of accusations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how we engage with art
Yeah.
when the artist is accused of these kinds of things.
Can you separate the art from the artist?
Right.
It's a question that I think everyone's going to have to answer for themselves.
Yeah, there's no easy answer.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in the future
Yeah,
and what impact it has
Yeah.
on Gaiman's work.
it is. We'll see.
Absolutely.
We will see.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for listening to our deep dive today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.